Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to create our Notes application that will consume the APIs that we already have. So let's actually get started. So to start, let me just go to my CD. I believe I call it Node server. Let me check. Server node. Go to npm run dev. Okay, this is my application running port 3000. If I open that, let me check. Yes, no API server. We have it right there. Cool. We have an issue here with not found inside the root path. That was interesting. Oh, the 5 icon was not found because I opened it through the browser, so that's why we got the issue. Sorry. Okay, so we have the application running, so I will keep it running. I will keep it there, and I will create a new one. So I go to my projects. I will create npm init, and let's call it Notes app build. Enter. We're going to use view for that. Let's do npm init. Sorry, no npm init. I'm sorry for that. Just cancel this. So no, the npm install. Let's install all the dependencies. Let me open this in my Visual Studio Code. Okay, we had it here. And let's open the terminal right here. Let me close this one. I don't need this part. Sorry for this. I just played around with the bit. There's a bit extension. Let me just stop the server for now. Okay. So now here we're going to create the gsconfig file. So let's do npx gsconfig.json. I found out that is a better, quicker way to do it, and that will create a simple gsconfig file right here. We need to remove some things that we don't need it. We can keep other ones, doesn't make much sense, but let's actually keep it as it is. Before module resolution, I will just add streak to true. Base URL is this one, and let's actually use something really cool called paths. And let's create some kind of, how can I say it? We need to have a comma over here. And let's create some kind of a shortcut. So remember when we try to import something from a different folder, we do the ../../. I don't want to use that anymore. So let's actually create some kind of path. And let's do this path is going to be people till, and let's do this one will be my source directory, everything. Yeah. As simple as that. That means that whenever I reply to this one, it will go to a source directory based on my base URL that is actually in the current folder. So this is just a little trick. So with the npm gsconfig.json, create all this. We just added the strict true, and we added the path right here. We want to keep the rest as it is. It's actually a good way to have it. Now, something extra that I did, my vector extension, let me uninstall it. Oh, I cannot install it, so let me just, if you cannot install it, you can disable it. And let's just disable all. Actually, let me uninstall all. There you go. And we're going to look for Volar. And let's install that one. So this one works a little bit better for Vue 3, so I recommend to actually have that one right there. And this one recommends us to have that structural role and model resolution node. So we already have that in our JSconfig file. Cool. After we have those, I believe we can actually close this because we already changed it for now on JSconfig. Let me close all this. Right. Then don't save it. And let's install Tailwind. So it's npm install Tailwind CSS. I forget actually. Let me look for that. So let's look for Tailwind. Get started. V3. Okay, yeah, we need to do this. And I'm doing through here in order to have that auto completion working. Okay, we do code that now again. We have JSconfig the way they're supposed to. Now, so we have this. I forgot to disable those, sorry. Let me just go here and stop server. We need to initialize Tailwind from here. We need to go to the purge and let's paste it to the Tailwind config. We can close this for now. We need to create the index CSS in our source directory. With that information in there. And we just need to import it to the main JavaScript file. Cool. We have those. We do a simple npm run dev. And we open the application in localhost 3001. Notice that 3001 actually came here because we have the backend server running. The application is running and it's doing what it's supposed to. Cool. Let's continue doing the cleanup. So let's actually remove this server from here. Let's install Byte components, plugin components. And that's the one that will allow us to import things without actually specify where it came from. So we just need to install this one. We're going to go to our byte or bit config. We import it and we call it as a function inside the array of the plugins. Yeah, pretty much. With that, we can actually do, before we run the server, let's go to application view. So that means that we should not be importing this anymore. Let me delete all the section. And hello world should be working because it's inside my component folder. Let's actually see it, npm run dev. Let's wait this to render, and yeah, everything is still working and the component was imported without actually calling it in the script tag. Cool. I want to install another one. It's actually called plugin icons. And that's pretty neat. It's actually able to import different icons for pretty much everywhere. And you can call those in your source code, and all those are going to be already some kind of a view component. So whatever you actually need is here. And it's pretty neat. The way to install it is just install this section from here. Let's cancel this. Let's install those icons. Perfect. What else we need to do? We need to import the icons for the pipe plugin in the configuration. And then we need just to call it. But we can actually use the auto importing using the plugin components. We already have the plugin components. So inside the components area, the plugin component, we just call. We need to import this section too. So we need to import icons, and we need to import the icon resolver. So that means that byte icon resolver should be here. It's actually custom component resolver, sorry. Custom component resolver, and this should be, oh, it should be an object. Custom component resolver is going to be this one over here. Cool. And then we just need to call after this one icons right here. One other thing is those icon, the convection is actually have a prefix, collection, an icon, and it will show that in a minute. By default, the prefix is an I. You can change the prefix to something else, but I actually like not to have any prefix in there. So we just need to change the component prefix inside here to actually be an empty. There you go. That one's pretty cool. So we do npm run dev. Everything is still running. Let's see my application. Let's wait that for render. My application is there. And let me show you what those icons actually does. Let me go to browse icons. And let me go to search something, I don't know, random settings. And we have a bunch of icons for settings. And let's say that I like, I don't know, let's take one random. This one from here. So this one is going to be the family, and this is going to be the name. That means that we're able just to copy that. And just to copy that name, we should be able to go to our application and just call it like this. Of course, instead of doing those semicolons, it actually needs to be a dash. So if I call the icon like this is the family and this is the name, in my application will be rendered right there. And the pretty cool about this, I can actually use my classes from Tailwind and do, let's do with 24, height 24, text, color, actually text red 500. We can make the icon bigger and make it change the colors. It's pretty pretty. Let's see if I can do a rotate. 2. Yeah, that didn't work, but well, probably something else. But you can see that actually the way that it's supposed to be, right? So we can actually import those icons and it's going to be rendered. It's a simple way to implement those instead of doing or copying SVG file from somewhere else. So I believe we have pretty much everything that we need. Other things that I want to use here is I want to use all the libraries from Vue.use. Those libraries are actually really cool, and we're going to be using a couple of those. Because we're going to be using APIs too. So let me look for Axios. They actually have one for Axios in the integration. So the way to do it, we need to install npm install Vue.use integration, Vue.use core, and we need to install Axios. We all do all that. Let me just close this Let me open again. I'm not doing that because I saw my Tailwind auto completion is not working. Let me see, my Tailwind auto completion is there. Background. Oops. Install my server. Sorry for this one. So let's go background. There you go. Red. Yeah, we have that to completion there. How cool is that? So we have pretty much almost everything that we need. We can use two different cool things. Let's install some dependencies on plugins, and let me install one called Iconify, I believe. Yes, but this guy Anthony Fu, this is actually one of the guy who created Vue.use. So this plugin is pretty neat. Uninstall it. This what we're going to do is, you can see this. Now you can see the icons. If you put it there, you can see the text. But after that, you can actually see whenever you're printing on a specific icon. And I believe it's pretty neat. So if I change this, I remember something else called MDI. There's something called account. So that's going to be the new icon there. So if I save it, of course my server needs to be running. npm run that. My icon is there. So that one is pretty neat. What else do we need to put here? Other thing is Tailwind have extra colors, and because we're using Purge, probably we can actually import those. So let me show you that. We can go here and we can do cons, colors, equal, require, and let's go to Tailwind, CSS, and let's look for custom colors. There you go, record Tailwind colors. So that will allow us to bring all the colors from Tailwind, and I can actually use inside the theme. Before the extend, I will put the colors are going to change for all those colors that they have by default, and with extra ones. So with that, we allow us to have some different colors to be implemented. So for example, I can actually use text dash teal. For example, we have the teal color, it was not there before. We have the blue gray. Right, we have the blue gray, and we have the cool gray too. Right, so the different grays here and there, and we have other colors around, but it will allow us to have more colors in here, and it's going probably to choose a little bit better what we need to put in the application. Okay, so having everything in place, I can actually do something like this. Let's get rid of all this, and let's put a paragraph called my notes. Let's remove the color for now. I don't need those here. Yeah, my notes. Let's remove the hello world, and let's remove the assets. We don't need anything of those. Last one for the public, for the favicon. Let's actually get a new favicon. So where we can get one favicon? 3 icons in icon format. Flight icon. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So let me look for notes. Yeah, I like this. get the free download. I will save it in my downloads, okay, and I will go to my public folder, and you can copy the file wherever you need. So I will actually remove the 5 icon, and I will copy from my downloads to here. I have my notes here, and that means that my index.html that I have right here, this will change to notes.png, and let's call this to notes application to the title. There you go, my note, and we have the note tab. Cool. Let's change again this one to notes app in order to be a little more consistent with this. And I believe we are a really good point to initialize our repository. Oh, sorry, I was missing something. So remember here in the JSconfig that we added this source. That is a simple way to go through the source directory and go through the process to import something. Well, we need to tell Vite that we actually did that. So we actually can do that. I believe before the plugins, we can just do resolve, create an object, and that object needs to have a comma for the plugin, and then we can have an alias, I believe, yes. Cool. So now we can actually have alias for we resolve it, and the only alias that we need is to have that little tilde to point to CRC, and that should be enough. Yeah, I think so. So let's just test it. No, let's keep it like that for now. So now that we have that, let's do git init, git add everything, git commit. My message is going to be initial commit, project setup. Oops. Remember, remove that extra quotes in there. There you go. Now just to be fine, let me just create a new repo. It's going to be public, and it will not have any description for now. Oops. Repository name will be public. Oh, wait. I need to one folder back. There you go. Great. Oh, I did something bad here. So I was inside my public directory, and I initially said, let me show you, the Git repository inside public. So let's remove it. There you go. Let me go back. So now I'm in here in my root directory is where I need to do it. So let's do git init, git add all of them. Okay, now it looks a lot better. And git commit, project setup. I have to use commit. It was inside my commit. Let's create a repo. Call nodes app view. Going to be public. And let's push it just in case. Cool. So we have also software already created, and the idea will be start working with the different elements. The first part of this video probably going to go to the look and feel, and I want to go through a couple of things that actually could help us. And the second section will be through the what can I say? The second section could be through the actual API calls. So let's get started. So let's create a new component. Inside my component folder, call this navbar. Let me take this and let's put actually my navbar. And inside my navbar, let's do the template. And we put those right there. Okay. So let's grab everything in a div. If you see that little thing called book, forget about that, don't click it. So here in the div we can use sample. Class will be, what we can do. Background purple, let's do purple 900. There you go. And let's do with a padding of 4. Okay. That's going to be flex item. And let's do place item center. So that's going to be some kind of a line. Place item center, actually what it does. Do the place item center. We can do those items to have a little space on X of 2. So we have that little separation right there. Let's do text white. And let's make this to be a font. I don't know if it will work from here. Bold. Yeah, he did. And text 3XL. There you go. So this one changes a little bit. Let's do a span element and put the application name in there. Because what I want to use here is my span going to be class text -10. Oops. Until actually. A notes app, yeah, that looks cool. Probably should be the other way around. Let's do it through the p tag instead. So let's remove this font bold from here. We don't need it anymore. And let's the application to be class font bold. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Now we can use here in this one, let's do tracking wider. We'll have a little more separation. Let's change to white probably. Tracking widest. Probably too much. So wider should be enough. Yeah, that looks fine and start looking like a navbar there. So one last thing that I want to use. I want to use container class at MX Auto. Ooh. Yes, but not here. So probably need to grab everything in another div. Right, and the flex place item enter X, and pretty much everything here should be in this one. There you go. We have our notes application right there. Cool. So now that we have that, let's start working with the content. So the way that I was envisioned that we need to put in there is some kind of like a little squares. Every square is going to be a node, and at the end of the node we'll have like a plus button, and that plus button will be like add an extra node, something like that. But as you can see, I want to work a little bit with the colors. Let me change this from to cool gray, probably 200. It's got that grayish in there. Yeah, so it's not white right away. So now, so we have that, let's go to the, let's actually do git add everything, git commit with a message, added navbar. Now, so we have that. What else we can do here? Let's go to the index.html and let's do the body to have like a color. And let's do background. Let's do cool gray 800. There you go. Yeah, let's keep it like that. So now that we have it, we need to have an application. We need to create a node. But we also need to create a node. So this is going to be the particular square, and this is going to be like the code to add all those right here. And probably we can add another one called add node. Or let's actually call it node-add.view. And I didn't like that dash in there. So let's call it node add. We have node add, and node view. This is going to be just the one with a little plus that will be at the end. So let's call this to be a simple template. And let's call a simple paragraph that will be, this is a node, right? Another template, and this will be another paragraph that say add new node, and here we can actually have a template that we're going to use for node. I'm going to be a B for, let's do an intent, and my key, it should be n, so we need to repeat the node one. If we do that, nothing happened. Oh yeah, because now here in my nodes I need to just import my nodes in plural. So this is a node, we have all of them there, pretty cool. And we can actually note let's put another one called add node. It's actually called node add. Sorry. So we have all the nodes going to be there, and that one will be add a new node. Okay, now that we have that, let's start styling our nodes a little bit. So we go to the nodes in plural, and let's create a new div, and this div should be, yeah, across all of them, and it should be a simple class grid, and let's do, yeah, by default it's going to be grid col 1 in medium size. Let's do grid col 2 in large size. Let's do grid col 3, and in extra large size let's do grid col 4. just have some kind of responsiveness. So now we have those right there. And the last one is the add new node, so I like that. And let's actually make this to have a little gap, probably of 4. Yeah. Let's go to the node and let's actually put here a background. Let's put one of those only one. 500. Okay, now we have a little background there and they add the node. So yeah, it's working. The only thing that probably we need to do is that we need to add a margin top of 4. Yeah, maybe to have right there. I'll put everything in a container. And let's center the container. There you go. Yeah. So now, we have the nodes. Let's actually start styling those nodes to look a little bit better. So let's go back to my node. Let's delete this. Let's actually do something properly. Let's add a div, right? And this div will have some kind of title. Let's do node title will be here. And then we'll have a paragraph that will be pretty much, let's put lorem tab, just to fill up this pretty much like the node content. And we have another div with 2 buttons. It will be edit and another button that will be delete. We have that one right in the notes, title, and we have the 2 buttons, the edit and the delete. Okay. Let's start adding some elements here. So let's put this to be plus background yellow 500. Ooh, rounded. Yeah. Let's make the text yellow. Let's put, I don't know, 800 maybe. Yeah, could be. If we remove it to 400, that probably looks a lot better. Let's do text center. So we have everything there. Nice. For the title, we need to have a bigger size. Let's do text, I don't know, 2XL maybe. Yeah, that should be enough. Let's do the font tint. Okay. And let's add a little more the tracking white. I believe that looks a lot better. Let's add a padding because I don't want this to be like all together. But let's have some kind of border or padding actually. So let's do padding too. Yeah, bigger node. So with that, we actually let's move to the content. And the content probably is too big, so let's do text small. Let's call font medium. Maybe we have the, let's change the color a little bit, so let's do text yellow 700 maybe. So like another No, let's keep that one the way it is. 600. No. 900. It's too dark now. Well, probably can stay that. And let's add a little margin. Like, let's separate this. Actually, no, let's not separate it from here. Let's separate it from here. Probably can use a simple space J of 2. That kind of separation between those. We have the title, okay, we have the content, and then we have the two buttons. So the button should be class, should be flex. Perfect. Justify between. That means one on the left, one on the right. Or we can actually do justify right. Justify end, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, maybe can stay there. So let's change the edit. Let's look for something called edit. Which one should be fine? Let's actually get this one. So MDA playlist edit. That means that we can actually do something like this, but instead of doing this, should be dash. Actually, let me see if I can call it like this. I don't know, sure. Let me save it. Oh yeah, I can just copy and paste the name, and that should be enough. That's perfect. So let's call this one maybe play edit, and let's look for another for the trash or for delete. Let's get, I don't know, random one. This one is a little bit different. You can actually get whatever you want, right? Oops, you didn't copy over. So we have the edit, we have the delete. Okay. Let's do a little space here, space X2. We have a little separation. And this button I want to do class. When I do hover, I want this to be text green 500. Oh no. 800. There you go. You have the little there, and I want pretty much to do the same with the other button, but instead of green is going to be red. So when we hover over, we can actually see that effects to be applied. Okay. So we can have those, perfect. And now let's add the new notes. So we can actually copy the whole template. Let's go to the notes add, the paste it. But we are going to delete the content. So we have that one right there. So let's look an icon. And not here, not here either. And here. Let's do add. Which one should we find? Something simple like this, probably. So we can actually do inside the div. Call it like this. Save it. And with that little add button. And this should be a button. That should be after that. So this should be a button. So let's make this button. Let's do the flex. Just place item center, I believe. Place item center. Yeah, it did work, but not completely how I imagine. I'm gonna do text center. No. Let me see my button, what side it is actually. My button is right there. I'm already have my text center. So I want to make this to put it right here in the middle. So let's do justify center, justify center, items center. Okay, yeah, that actually did better work. So let me remove this one from here and let's actually do font for Excel. So now let's add that to the button itself, it's not font, it's actually need to be text for Excel. There you go. See Excel. I believe see Excel is the biggest one. Let me send that back to my button. That should work a little bit, maybe. What else we can do there? Let me actually have the ones over here. So let's change this to be this other one. Let me see if this actually works. Let's change this to be 48. Yeah, no, didn't work here. Let's put the one right here. Okay. And let's put the transition to be my button. Yeah, but I see an issue. This actually not centered. Why? Let me remove the padding. Not sure that, but I don't want to spend more time here, so let me make a little bit smaller. And let's change this to be the scale 110. So what I'm doing here is just set at the bottom. Then when I hover over, the scale is going to change to increase a little bit, and I have a little transition on to have that kind of animation. Right, so we can actually just see it right there. And we can actually, we have a hover here, opacity of 40. So when we have, we can actually go hover, opacity is going to be 100. And probably this opacity need to be moved to there. So let me put that one right there. There you go. Probably we can, yeah. Probably 100 is too much. Let's actually change this to 80. Oops, 80. No, let's put 60. There you go. We have that one right there. It bothers me that it's not completely centered, but I would like to leave it like that for now. Okay, so that's almost all of them. Let's do git add everything, git commit -m, added notes design. Cool. And let's add now the form that will handle the edit and will handle to create a new one. So we have just a title and a content pretty much. For that, probably we can use, can we use Tailwind forms? I believe Tailwind form would actually help us. Yeah, probably could help us, but let's actually simplify it. So let's add a new component and let's go notes form.view, and it's going to be the same note, the same template to handle adding or editing, and we'll handle that to props maybe or something like that. I don't know, not sure yet, but let's do template and let's make a little div, right? And this div should be, let's make this, what can I say? Let's put hello for now. Let's go to the application view and let's put that one should be always visible. Okay, let's, when I say before, sorry, I get distracted. Let's put the, let's actually handle inside my notes, not there. Let's add my, and that should be outside the div. It should be called my notes form. So we have the hello there. So what I want to do with that hello, let me go here, is going to be, class is going to be absolute, right? And we do inset 0. This inset 0 is pretty much top 0, right 0, bottom 0, left 0, right? Like just put it inside there. So that hello should go right there. But we will say that we need to have a width of screen and a height of the screen, and my background is going to be, which color we use? Purple 800 maybe. There you go. So what I'm doing here is I want my form to be on top of everything, right? So let me just create a, for this I should have, what can I put here? I can put a button, right? So the button is going to be the close the form, and we should have the form by itself, right? Let's save it. We have the button with the close, and actually let's look for that close. Close. Yeah, this one. What are the ones we have here? Yeah, this a little bit. Yeah, let's get this one. Let's copy. And instead of having this closed word, we will have this one right here. Yeah. And this will be class text white. And let's make this bottom to be actually absolute. Let's do inset 2. Oops, here, save it. We can do that one, we can do the inset, and let's do, well, I think we can do that bottom. The size. So let's do this one to be class text 6XL. Yeah, that should be enough, I think. I will handle the bottom size in a minute. But for now, actually let's remove the inset. Probably the inset is the one who's messing up. Yeah, there you go. And let's do top 2 and left 2. So we have that little bottom right there, right? Cool. Now that we have that bottom right there, and I need to see why those icons actually not centered, but something else later. We can actually add the form, and the form we're going to use add submit prevent. That means it will not trigger a simple refresh, right? Prevent. And let's add. I already have it right here, so let me just copy over. Let me add those. Oh, I have an extra div there. We have this other div, and this other div right here. So with those, we just put in the title, right? The content and the add button. That's pretty much what we're doing here. But let's go to the parent. That's actually this one. And let's everything to be flex. There you go. And let's do justify center. Items center. There you go. And let's put an extra on the form itself. Class space JOs4. Cool. So we have the one right there. And we can actually use here. Actually not here. Here probably. So we have the title, we have the content. So in the input, what I need to change on my classes, they're rounded, but I need a padding Y of 2 and padding X of 4 probably. There you go, a lot better. And the labels is to have a class of text white, right? And margin bottom of 2 probably. A little more separation in there. Yeah, maybe. That should be it. And we had the little add button right there. So now that we have this, we should be able to hide it and show it with this little button. So let me, in my source directory, I will create a new folder called helpers. And in my side helper, let's use a new file. Let's actually call use notes.javascript. And let's do a simple import from Vueuse. I believe it's actually Vueuse core. We have it right here. And let's import something called use toggle. So the use toggle function, what it does is it gave us a simple value that is going to be Boolean, and it gives you a function that changes that value. When it's true, it changes to false, and when it's false, it changes to true. It's actually pretty neat. So we can actually use export cons use nodes. It's going to be a function, right? That function will have like a bunch of stuff. And let's say it. On the way to do it, let's do show toggle equal to use toggle with the value of false. As simple like that, and we export everything as a nodes. And of course, we need to return that. Well, it's actually no importance as a use node. Let's do a simple export here, and we will import a bunch of stuff. That should be enough. So here we just call in the show, it's going to be false, and show toggle. So by default, here in my nodes, the node forms will be only be if, of course we need to import it. Let's do a script, setup, and we need to import from, oh, that's a pretty neat thing. We put the tilde / look at that, we are looking inside the source directory. Pretty neat. So let's actually go just to helpers, use nodes, and we need to import the show and the show toggle. Yeah. No, actually just show should be enough. Be if show. So we do it like this. We have an issue that probably we need to troubleshoot. Let's see what is happening. I'm restarting the server. I open the Notes app, and we have an issue with the use nodes. This is really interesting. Let me see what is happening here. Give me a minute. Okay, made it work. What I did is in my bit app, my bit configuration, I have my alias a little bit different. So I needed to import my path from path, right? And my alias should be a simple tilde /, it will pretty much the same as path resolve directory name source. So don't worry what this actually means. You can go to the repo and copy over, and that should be enough. But that will allow us to put that little tilde over there and have it working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so right now my node form is not there because the show is false by default. So we need to trigger to use it, and we're going to trigger that in the Notes app here. Let's do a script setup And let's do import from, let's do that one. Okay. Helper, use node, and let's people toggle show toggle. And whenever we click this button, at click, we want to trigger the show toggle. That means if we click this one, this should appear. Now I need to do the same with this one over here. So for this part, let me just copy this reference. And let me go to not form. Let me go to the bottom, let me put right there. And this button from here, when this gets clicked, that means we click here, it's closed. If we click this, it's open. Print it, right? So now it's doing what it's supposed to. Cool. So I believe we have our application. I don't like how this actually appeared. I'm not sure if I will be able to do something about it. For now, I will leave it like that. But probably some kind of animation or something should be better. But I believe we have the look and feel done. And we have all the forms where it's supposed to be and where it is. And this application should be responsive. Yes, it is. So cool. So for now, let me just git add everything and git commit -m added form. Cool. And let me push everything to there. For now, I will keep this video here. In the next one, we are going to make the actual connection to our API. So I hope that you really like it. Any question, any doubt, don't hesitate to reach me. Happy coding, everybody.